hold on. Honorable members, please, let's take our seats.
Anyways, honorable members of Rivers State were there, great stakeholders. I don't want to call names. And there was some sort of a town hall meeting on national TV. And peace has been one of the most mentioned words in Rivers State in the past, 1 week or 2 weeks. And so they were there, I guess, to talk about peace. And somehow it got rowdy. And it's from the two camps, one for the other against, but they were there looking for solution to the issue, the political imbroglio in Rivers State. That means the talk for peace is at a good level, I should say. My guest is the publicity secretary of the APC in Rivers State from, I would say Tony Okocha's faction, but he says recognized by the national arm of the party, the national wing of the party, recognized by the president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And which other one did you say again? Recognized by who? Help me now, Chibuike Ikenga. I've got the Honorable Chibuike Ikenga in the studio with me. It's good to have you, by the way. Please, can you turn the mic towards yourself? This way. Yeah. Thank you very much for appearing on the show today.
Thank you for having me, Kalada.
I was asking you to help us, with the people who recognize your publicity secretary office. I called the president. I called the national wing of the party. Which other recognition?
Okay. Thank you for having me. APC is one in Nigeria that you know. Okay. And then you also know that there is a subsisting Supreme Court judgment which says in all circumstances that party is supreme.
All right.
And that not the court nor any personal side of the party, leadership and membership can decide who the party leaders are.
Okay, on a good day, we'll have that argument. But our focus now is negotiating the peace.
Yeah.
And I do believe that you and many other stakeholders from whichever camp are eager to have peace in Rivers State. Well, can we start by asking, what kind of peace are you all calling for? Because some Rivers people are saying this peace, it's suspicious. It is at the expense of Rivers people. I asked the guests who just left the studio the same question when we started. I would like to start from there. What kind of peace are you politicians from both sides calling for?
Okay, thank you. Firstly, let me address the issue of what you called there was a disagreement at the town hall meeting. There wasn't at all a disagreement. What happened was that the anchor of the program and then the TV station, News Central, did say that they are here for peace and that anybody who wants to speak must speak in such a manner that will also engender peace, and that nobody should cast any aspersion on anybody or begin to speak in such a manner to disrespect or be rude to any group that he does not support. So we started, and some guy, I think he mentioned his name or something, Ibanebo. He became very rude, was trying to talk down on the revered FCT minister. And then we said he has broken the law that we have set here, and he must stop speaking, and he will not be allowed to speak. And that was what we did, and we stopped him.
But it's still the same thing, no? It's still, if you were to write that down as an article, somebody disturbed the peace. It's one person in your opinion, but it was a disturbance of the peace.
No. If somebody was working against the law that we have all agreed to subscribe to, and then all of us also agreed that for breaking the law, you must cease to speak. And we achieved that.
Okay.
And we progressed.
So what is the peace we all are talking about now?
Well, whether you have wars or you have disagreements, it does not end at the battlefield. Okay. It does end on a round table.
Okay.
Now, the fight, the battle, the disagreement had been sustained for nearly 2 years. And we have lost a lot. The leaders have thought it wise that it is necessary for us to make peace, beginning from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, up to the FCT minister, up to Governor Sim Fubara, and then to stakeholders. We have all seen our losses. We have seen it that when two brothers fight dangerously, a foreigner inherits their house.
Are you referring to the sole administrator now?
I'm saying this is a wise saying that we know. We have fought so much that we have destroyed our state, and then we do not control whatever happens there. The sole administrator didn't bring himself there. We asked him to come.
Okay.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu did not declare state of emergency, but we created the grounds upon which a state of emergency was declared.
Okay.
And now we have seen the losses, and we're beginning to think that it is proper that we come together and put ourselves together, reconcile, forgive each other, and then focus on delivering good governance to Rivers people. I think that's what is most important. And more so, we must do so in pursuit of consensus and unity. And finally, integration, which of course will usher in development.
Some people would argue, and because I sit here, or I've sat here for 5 days now, and I've heard a lot of people, maybe hundreds of people, come out and say, these negotiations, it's against the people. The people are the sacrifice that the politicians are making on the altar of politics. One would have thought that the minister's camp would have, gone ahead to get victory, given the situation of things, given the state of emergency, given that there are conversations as it relates to the structure of the governor being destroyed or dismantled. Why, in your opinion, is the minister's camp not going for full victory? Is it not achievable?
No, I take exception to that. When you say the minister's camp, that's very derogatory. I want to say that.
What I mean, let's hear you.
What the crisis we have had in Rivers State is a crisis between two arms of government, between the executive arm and the legislative arm. The executive arm being led by the governor Siminala Fubara, and then the legislative arm being led by Right Honorable Martin Samehule. They disagreed.
Okay.
And then the position of the minister of the FCT, former governor, who is their benefactor, is to ensure that there is peace. And that has been pursuing to ensure that the proper things are done.
So are you saying,
yes.
Honorable Ikenga, that there was no political battle between Governor Fubara and the FCT minister?
Not at all. There's none. I stand to be corrected. What battle? Has Governor Fubara come on air to say what Wike did to him? The problem is between the House of Assembly and the governor. Disagreements, and all of them are from the same house. They are from the same party. And the minister is their benefactor.
So why did Nyesom Wike call him ungrateful? I think that's ungrateful was the word he used.
In what circumstance did he call him that?
I would have to go back to my soundbite because I have it stored somewhere. Yeah. But there was a point when he did actually refer to him as ungrateful.
Okay. If you say so, will you also bring up things that the governor had said that may have warranted that?
But the reason why I'm saying this is because you've said there was no political battle between the governor
Not at all.
and the ex-governor.
Not at all. What the minister had said is that let the rule of law be respected. And then, because Montesquieu did postulate about separation of powers, and he asked that let every arm of government check the other to avert arbitrariness. So what the minister did say was that, look, the governor, you must abide by your oath of office and your oath of allegiance, as well as the constitutional provisions.
Second to the last media chat of the SCT minister, he said he would have gone for full impeachment if not for the intervention of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I remember that very clearly.
That he would have gone, or he would have supported.
For the full impeachment, anyhow you want to put it.
No, not anyhow. You must put them in perspective.
It's a matter because he said he was pushing for the impeachment.
No, he did not say he was pushing.
Okay, what did he say?
He is saying that if the governor continued to allow unconstitutionality to prevail in the state, he was going to support the constitutionality of edging him out.
Okay.
Through impeachment, yes.
So back to my question.
Yes, please.
Why did let's go with what you've said. Let's agree to disagree that it is a fight between the executive and the legislative arm of government.
It is what it is.
Why did the legislative arm of government not pull through or push with, and why is there the call for peace?
Now, there are constitutional provisions for a removal of a governor or a president.
Okay.
But mind you, that the reason why people are calling for peace is that the Supreme Court has laid the grounds upon which an impeachment can go through easily. And I think that it is in the knowledge of the president and those who make our security decisions that if they go that route, there was going to be further breakdown of law and order.
Okay.
And then the president intervened through the proclamation of state of emergency to put everybody on the same level, at the same level, to be able to start afresh, to negotiate by making concessions, because concessions are very important in politics.
Okay.
It's not a winner takes all thing. Like I always say, I do not believe in zero-sum game. You know, we must act in such a manner that when even you win, you must be magnanimous in victory. So that's what we are saying. So the president had given us an ample opportunity, which the FCT minister had keyed in, and then the governor had also keyed in. And then the assembly had also keyed in for this peace. So who are they saying that they are making the peace is against Rivers people? Those who they are mentioning, are they not Rivers? Am I not a Rivers man?
You are.
Are you not a Rivers man?
I am.
So all of us are interested in peace, because it's only through peace that there will be integration. Our people will come together. I'm an Ikenga and I have friends. The governor himself is my friend. The governor is my friend.
Okay.
We had worked together in government house when Amechi was governor. I was working under Chibuike, who was chief of staff. So we work together. I have a lot of Ojuka is my friend. Ojuka is from Calabari. The modern terminal is for Okrika. And then to mention Bedefi, mention Science Ningara, who is
So Simfubara, your friend, did you call him, because you're talking peace now, did you call him in the thick of the battle to say, hey, let's embrace peace? Did you do that?
I wasn't a member of, I wasn't actually interested in their challenge that
But
time.
he's your friend, and you said Rivers State has made a lot of losses, your words.
No, it was too early for me to dabble into it, because I needed to know exactly what were the issues.
So do you now know what the issues are?
Yes, I do know.
What are the issues?
The issues relate to those who have been friends over time,
Okay.
who have shared so many things in common,
Okay.
and they have taken themselves to a certain level under the leadership of Chief Chibuike. Mind you that I'm an APC person. The former governor and minister of the FCT defeated us serially under Amechi. We lost all the elections and lost everything. So Wike led that team that defeated us. So now they have been there working together. And then after a former governor, Wike FCT minister, left as governor, he became FCT minister, and he rallied his friends, he rallied his team, rallied everyone to choose Governor Simfubara to become governor. And the only thing that was expected was that team that brought him together is a group thing.
Should be carried along.
The group team must be part, not carried along, must be part of the decisions going forward. Because he was also...
Decisions of the states?
Yes.
But they were not voted into
No,
office.
excuse me, just listen. The House of Assembly members, are they not members of the team?
They were voted into office.
House of Fresh members, are they not members of
They
the
were
team?
voted into office.
Senators, are they not members of the
They were
team?
voted into office.
So commissioners,
Were not voted into office.
well, are they not occupying government positions where decisions are made? Wouldn't they be consulted in decisions? To mention but a few of them. So it's a group thing. Let nobody be deceived. Before any election is undertaken, people meet to agree,
Okay.
to aggregate their interests,
Okay.
and pursue them. And in this case, they pursued it, and Governor Fubara was installed as governor. So the only thing that was expected is that when decisions wants to be, you do consultation, you engage the stakeholders. It's a fact all over the world. You engage the stakeholders. These are the things I want to do. Do you think I'm right, or do you think that there are things you need to add or subtract so that we have a proper outing? That's the only problem we have. So they feel that the governor has not been properly consulting them. Rather, that the governor has now formed a totally different team of enemies of their team.
Honorable Ikenga, this picture you've painted, I'm not a politician, right? So forgive me if I'm wrong, but it looks like control.
What do you mean control?
Consultation you talk about, it looks like control.
Consulting people?
Once again, he's the governor. He was voted to be executive governor, so he executes.
Is anybody in doubt that he's the governor?
But then why does he have to consult?
Why does he have commissioners? Is the governor or the president a compendium of knowledge? He doesn't consult people?
The commissioners answer to the governor, not the other way around.
So they don't make imputes. They're zombies.
All right, we'll come back to that. We've got a commercial. An interesting conversation with Honorable Ikenga. Well, we're still talking negotiating the peace. We'll get to the peace very shortly.
For more talk, news and sports,
cover. And so I'm going to go back to my guest. Before the break, you were talking about consultation, and I asked the question. The consultation looks like control from my position. I'm not a politician, and I'm just telling you what I've observed. So maybe if I'm wrong, you can correct me.
Okay, further, let me tell you. Firstly, the governor or governors emerge through a party. Party has policies and programs.
True.
And then governor also emerges through the leadership and followership of the party.
True.
But the leadership everywhere in the world sets the pace, and then followers also make their own contributions. So once a governor is enthroned, he is not a dictator. A governor, a president is expected to consult the leaders. What we have is collegiate leadership. The governor is the chief executive officer of the state. The House Assembly is there. There are decisions that the governor cannot take without the approval of the House Assembly. That's fact. That's constitutional. So people are saying, and I believe so strongly, that the governor ought to consult and allow the Constitution to direct how their positions are carried out.
Is the governor not supposed to consult the people? The people in general? Because democracy is for the people, by the people, of the people. That's what we say.
Let me inform you. There are levels of leadership. And then even in the followership, there are levels. Mind you, that people have been elected to speak for the people. The House of Assembly members have been elected to make laws for the good governance of the state.
Okay.
And the governor has been elected to superintend the management of the affairs of the place of the state in conformity with constitutional provisions and in conformity with the House of Assembly and even the judiciary.
Okay.
So these are facts. It's not a one-man show. So I think that what had led to this problem is that people, those who claim that this is against Rivers people, should note that the Rivers people are the people that elected these representatives, even the ones at the national. So if the governor wants to undertake certain decisions or take certain positions, he must call a meeting of stakeholders. The youths are there, the market women are there, members of the party are there, civil society groups are there, House of Assembly members are there, and then other top government functionaries. They sit down, he presents to them what he wants to do. And then they look at it, make inputs, and then it comes out very fine. Because when you see gold, before gold comes out, it goes through fire and comes out very beautiful. So that's what is expected. But certain persons who have grouses with the Minister of the SCT, some of those whom he have defeated over time, they are afraid, one, and they are envious of his achievements. Before now, they called him all sorts of names. Remember that he is the only one in Rivers State, since Rivers State started, that had succeeded in enthroning a successor.
Is that a good thing?
To enthrone a successor?
Yeah.
Why not? What is the difference between mentorship and mentee? Is that not what we advocate?
So this is a mentorship mentee.
That's what it is. He mentored Governor Fubara.
Okay.
You're aware of that.
Okay.
He brought him up and then properly put him in position of authority or position to take over position of authority. He guided him. He groomed him. It's a fact. Everybody knows that.
Okay, Honorable Ikenga.
And he also campaigned for him.
Honorable Ikenga, thank you very much for telling us what you say is the problem that got us to this point politically in Rivers State. Now that we know the problem, what is the solution?
Yes, the solution is simple. Firstly, injuries had been sustained.
Okay.
Confidence has been lost.
Okay.
It will take time. It will become very gradual. People have made comments. People have made statements. People have taken positions that have hurt the feelings, emotions, and even the interests of their friends, associates, and Rivers people. So we are advocating for peace because we believe that with peace, which is priceless, there is nothing that cannot be achieved. And how the peace will come is that there should be consultations. There should be engagements of stakeholders at all levels.
Is forgiveness possible?
Yes. It's political. The crisis is political, and it will be settled politically. So what I'm saying is that when people start to engage, okay, I think I didn't get it right here. I'm sorry about it. Let's look at it. What do you think? How do you think we'll do it? The stakeholders will include, but not limited to the governor, to the House of Assembly Speaker members, to the leaders of the party, at the state, leaders of PDP, leaders of the APC, which I'm one of them, and then market women, then party members. They have representatives. So we must meet as both people in the private sector, as Rivers people. We must meet and agree to settle these issues in the larger interest of Rivers people.
Okay.
In the larger interest of development and good governance. Accountability, transparency, and integration of all segments of the state. And then let us not allow ethnicity, ethnocentrism, and bigots to divide us more. But most importantly, majority of those who have gone to join the governor to try to make him see his benefactor as a bad man are the people that the governor has defeated, that the former governor Wike has defeated over time in their political chess game. Okay. That's the envy.
You said stakeholders in Rivers, say PDP, APC leaders, governor, legislators at the national, state level, and even the FCT minister should all come together and see how they can, consult and say, you hurt me here, and I hurt you here, and let's forgive. No victor, no vanquished. Good. Well, my next question then is, would these stakeholders support Fubara after all of these talk about peace? Or would it be like Ambode's situation, go first, when we get to 2027, we would reconvene and we will reconsult, and if your loyalty is in check, then we'll continue. Is that what it's going to be?
No, let me understand what you mean by would they support Governor
Basically,
Fubara?
I'm going to go straight to the point. Yeah. Would you still support Siminalayi Fubara after all of these consultations? Governor?
We are trying to make peace so we can settle our state and the governor comes back as governor. And once that is done, we support him as a governor. What's wrong with that?
And so when 2027 reaches, you would still support him?
Oh, are you talking about 2027 policies? That's yes. What I wanted you to know.
Yeah.
We are not talking about 2027 now, because you cannot say that we will sit down here and say I will support Martin Samehule as House of Assembly member to come back to become speaker. Politics is dynamic. A lot of things change.
Okay.
So it is only when we get to the bridge we cross it.
So for now, it's just so that everything can return back to normal.
Completely so. And there's a proverb I want to tell you. My people say, and I quote, what that means is that, when sleep becomes so sweet, you begin to rub your eyes. Let me explain. What that means is that you cannot settle all the issues, contentious issues now. But once we all agree on a way forward, and the governor agrees with Rivers people, and then with the LCT minister, all of us agree together as assembly members, National Assembly members, Rivers people agree that this is the pathway to go. Then when we start testing it, we'll now know. From there, we take other decisions and then stabilize our state.
So there are no other demands from, you said I shouldn't call it the minister's camp, so I'm going to call it from the Martin Amehule's camp. There are no other demands apart from consultation.
Yes.
Carry all of us in the decision-making process.
Thank you. That is the challenge, nothing more.
So there is no...
But Fubara is part of their team now.
I'm saying there is no demand for XYZ resources.
Nobody has said so. The governor has not even said so that they ask him for any money. These are conjectures made by haters. I think
the governor himself had said it's all about resources. He had said something like
that. What is resources? Is resources only money? That's what they call human and capital resources. So why do you limit it to financial?
Honorable Ikenga, you and I know that it was financial.
No, it's not correct. Wike cannot ask Fubara for money, and Fubara knows that. That's the truth.
So if it's not Wike, because you started by saying Wike and Fubara do not have problem, it could be the other stakeholders.
No, he is their benefactor. And then the House of Assembly members are saying that their legitimate allowances have not been paid. That is punitive. So those things will be ironed out. The House of Assembly members are saying that their constituency projects are not paid. There are other benefits that ought to come to them constitutionally, statutorily, that because of the disagreement, they haven't had them. So these are the issues that will be addressed.
As a politician, do you think there's a political future for Siminalayi Fubara as governor?
He's the governor of the state.
I'm saying beyond 2027.
Are we going to say so?
I'm asking. You're a politician. You can't.
As far as anybody is alive, You can be anything.
Is Tinubu going to make 2027 election as a victor, that is?
If the dynamics are and the odds are in his favor, he will.
Okay. All right. I do not have enough time. I was trying to catch you there, but you answered the way you know how to answer. Thank you very much, Honorable Ikenga, for coming through. Thank you for your time.
No, I answered the correct thing. Thank you so much.
You answered as a politician. Let me say it to you. You answered as a politician.
No, I said the truth.
Really?
Is there someone who is alive till 2027 is still about 2 years from now?
But you politicians will say 4 + 4. That's what you usually would say.
Whatever we say, God is the final determinant.
Oh, God is in it now. All right. Anyway,
keeping us alive, life. Providence.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know you just dodged the question, but
no, it's not dodged. I answered you. What do you expect me to say? I'm consistent with the question. You talked about Governor Fubara, whether he has a future. As far as he's alive.
All right.
Yes.
I've got to go, but thank you very much for coming in once again.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you for listening. There is a commercial, and after that, we'll talk some more. Just stay tuned.